Hi, Chris Watson here. That was the my interpretation of Jimi Hendrix introduction to the piece called Hey Joe, which was his first big hit. Jimi Hendrix didn't write Hey Joe, but that introduction that was a fanfare to the world that there's a whole new way of looking at the guitar coming up. And of course, it's often called as the self-accompanying style, but it's pretty revolutionary in rock music to be able to play bits of lead and bits of chord work. Big chords, E, small chords. So we can have a look at how to do that specifically, and there are other videos of mine that will help you to develop your own, in the Hendrix style, but your own sort of self-accompanying, for want of a better word, where you're playing little bits of lead. And chords, and you can take it all over the place. So it's not that easy initially, but it's the road to freedom. You don't have to just sit there strumming. You can actually play something meaningful. So let's look at Jimi's intro. The first thing you're going to need is to play the E string, what I call the early E. Elephants and dogs go bed early E, with the note of B3. Play those together, and we're going to immediately hammer on to B5. Now, if you don't know what a hammer on is, you play a note, in this case B3, you pick it, and the next note, the B5, you don't pick. You just hammer your finger down, and you sort of get two notes, or to pick there, two notes for the price of one pick. Now, that can't be bad. The only technical difficulty here is we're going to do that with an open E string, and you really want to hear the open E. You don't want to play the open E with the B3, and then when you do the hammer on, it disappears. We want to be able to hear that open E in the background. And then you can hear I return to a normal B3. So it's B3, an open E, hammer on to B5 with an open E, and then play again, ordinarily with the pick, B3 and open E. Lovely. The next thing, I do this, I don't know whether Jimi does, it's a long while since I heard his version of it, but yeah, I play the G2 and I slide up to G4. And then, at the end of the slide, I pull off. Now, if you don't know what a pull off is, you play G2 with a pick, and then you just flick the finger off. You get, again, two notes for the price of one pick. This is where you realise there's a lot going on here. It's not a walk in the park, but the mastery of these things can open so many doors for your guitar playing. Jimi Hendrix, I think, well, in my opinion, he had an orchestral approach to the guitar. It wasn't just lead, and it wasn't just chords. As good as those things are, he sort of mixed it all up into some sort of wonderful brew, you know, great guitar. But there's a lot going on, so be patient with yourself. The point is, don't expect miracles. You know, these aren't overnight things, but the exploration of them will open all sorts of doors. So you hammer on and pull off, slide and pull off, and then we end on a D2, and that's the sort of the opening. After the D2, play an E chord. Now, this is another interesting thing, which I'll go into in greater detail in other videos, but E, instead of just playing an E chord, 6th string, if you don't know E, it's G1, A2 and D2. Instead of just playing that, bang, you can split the chord up. The fingers are the same, you know, you don't have to move your fingers, you're holding an E chord. But play the bottom half of the chord, and then the top half of the chord. Now just then I noticed, I played a downstroke for the bottom part of the chord, and then an upstroke for the top end. But you don't have to do that, but it's something, you know, it gives you a directional concept. So I'll link it all up, so I'll do the hammer on, slide, lower part of the chord, upper part of the chord. Okay. And now, the next part, which is, I'd never heard anybody do this but Jimi Hendrix. So what he's got there is he's working off an octave. Now, Wes Montgomery is the man for octaves, but this is more than an octave. Now, this octave starts on A5 and then goes to G, not the power chord of D7, but the octave of G7. And you can use your little finger for the G7. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but it's up to you. This is the difference though. The first finger is spread flatter, so it makes a small bar, and it catches the G5 as well. So you get this unusual rounder, fuller chord where you don't know what it is. Is it major, is it minor, is it fifth, is it fourth? I love that. So he plays it on 5, the same shape on fret 4, the same shape on fret 2. Now notice I'm sliding into the first one, the 5, which you can do if you want. So you're sliding into A5, D5, G7. You're taking it to, A4, D4, G6, same shape, taking it to A2, D2, G4. And then the top part of that chord again, not the whole chord, but some of it. Yeah. So yeah, I noticed when I did that last one, I actually didn't reform the chord of E. I just played the E and the B and sort of the top part of that chord. Do it in slow motion. And then the last little bit, that lovely little riff, probably the easiest bit, but very effective. A open to A2, that's a hammer on. Open D, yeah, I'm just going to play that 3 times, once, twice, 3 times, and then it goes into the chords. So from the octaves. Now the chords, if you're interested in the chords of Hey Joe, it's C, G, D, riff or something. But I can show you loads of things to do on those chords to make them more interesting. Not that way. I'll do that again. But we'll save all that for another video. It could be too much to go into. So I'll play it one more time for you. Chords. Yeah, okay. Well, again, if there's any questions, I know there's a lot there. If there's any questions, send them to me. I will try and answer them. I hope you've learned something, and I'll see you soon.